Hello, everybody. This is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Part 2, Chapter 3. As she entered Kitty's little boudoir, all furnished in pink with View's socksware, Dolly remembered with what pleasure the two had decorated it the year before. How happily and gay they were then. She felt a chill at her heart as she saw her sister sitting motionless on a low chair near the door, her eyes fixed on a corner of the carpet. And Kitty's cold and stern expression vanished the moment she saw her sister come in. "I'm very much afraid that when I once get home I shall not be able to leave the house for some time," said Dolly, sitting down near her sister. "And that's why I wanted to have a little talk with you." "What about?" asked Kitty, quickly raising her head. "What else than about your disappointment?" "I'm not disappointed about anything." "That'll do, Kitty. Do you really imagine that I don't know anything at all?" "I know everything, and if you will believe me, it's about nothing at all. Who of us has not been through such experiences?" Kitty said nothing, and her face resumed its severe expression. "He is not worth the trouble that you have given yourself for him," continued Darya Alexandrovna, coming right to the point. "Da, because he jilted me," murmured Kitty with trembling voice. "Don't speak of it, I beg of you." "But what did he say to you? I'm sure that he was in love with you, and that he still is. But, nothing exasperates me so as condolences," cried Kitty in a sudden rage. Blushing, she turned around in her chair and with nervous fingers twisted the buckle on her belt. Dolly knew well this habit of her sister when she was provoked. She knew that she was capable of saying harsh and cruel things in moments of petulance, and she tried to calm her, but it was too late. "What do you wish for me to understand? What is it?" cried Kitty with quick words. "That I am in love with a man who does not care for me, and that I am dying of love for him, and it is my sister who says this to me, my sister who thinks that she shows me her sympathy. I hate such hypocrisy and such sympathy." "Kitty, you're unjust. Why do you torment me?" "I did not mean. I saw that you were sad." Kitty, in her anger, did not heed her. "I have nothing to break my heart over, and don't need consolation. I'm too proud to love a man who does not love me." "Da, I do not say. I say only one thing. Tell me the truth," added Darya Alexandrovna, taking her hand. "Tell me, did Levin speak to you?" At the name of Levin, Kitty lost all control of herself. She jumped up from her chair, threw on the floor the buckle which she had torn from her belt, and with quick, indignant gestures cried, "Why do you speak to me of Levin? I really don't see why it's necessary for you to torment me. I've already said, and I repeat it, that I am proud, and never, never would I do what you have done, and go back to a man who had been false to me, who had made love to another woman. I do not understand this. You can, but I cannot." As she said these words, she looked at her sister. Dolly bent her head sadly without answering, but Kitty, instead of leaving the room as she had intended to do, sat down near the door again and hid her face in her handkerchief. The silence lasted several minutes. Dolly was thinking of her tribulations. Her humiliation, which she felt only too deeply, appeared to her more cruel than ever, thus recalled by her sister. Never would she have believed her capable of being so severe. But suddenly she heard the rustling of a dress, a broken sob, and then 2 arms were thrown around her neck. Kitty was on her knees before her. "Dolenka, I'm so unhappy. Forgive me," she murmured, and her pretty face, wet with tears, was hid in Dolly's skirt. Possibly these tears were needed to bring the 2 sisters into complete harmony. However, after a good cry, they did not return to the subject which interested them both. Kitty knew that she was forgiven, but she also knew that the cruel words that had escaped her in regard to Dolly's humiliation remained heavy on her poor sister's heart. Dolly, on her side, knew that she had guessed correctly, and that the pain Kitty felt lay in the fact that she had refused Levin, only to see herself deceived by Vronsky, and that her sister was on the point of loving the first and hating the other. Kitty spoke only of the general state of her soul. "I'm not disappointed," she said, regaining her calmness a little, "but you cannot imagine how wretched, disgusting, and vulgar everything seems to me, myself worse than all. You cannot imagine what evil thoughts come into my mind." "Da, but what evil thoughts can you have?" asked Dolly with a smile. "The most abominable, the most repulsive. I cannot describe them to you. It's not melancholy, and it is not weariness. It's much worse. One might say that all the good that was in me had disappeared, and only the evil was left. No, how can that be explained?" she asked, looking at her sister. "Papa spoke to me a few minutes ago. It seems to me that he thinks of nothing else than the need of getting me a husband. Mamma takes me to the ball. It seems to me that it is for the sole purpose of getting rid of me, or getting me married as soon as possible. I know that it's not true, and yet I cannot drive away these ideas. So-called marriageable young men are unendurable to me. I always have the impression that they are summing me up. Once I liked to go into society. It amused me. I enjoyed preparing my toilet. Now it is a bore to me, and I feel ill at ease. No, what? The doctor? No." The kitty stopped. She wanted to say further that since she had this great change in herself, she could no longer see Stepan Arkadyevitch without the most extraordinary and unpleasant conjectures arising in her mind. "No, everything takes the most repulsive aspect in my sight," she continued. "It's a disease. Perhaps it will pass away. I do not feel at ease except with you and the children. What a pity that you can't come home with me now. I will go all the same. I've had scarlatina. I will persuade Mamma." Kitty insisted so eagerly that she was allowed to go with her sister. Throughout the course of the disease, for it proved to be the scarlatina as Dolly had feared, she aided her in taking care of the children. They soon entered upon a happy convalescence without relapses, but Kitty's health did not improve, and at length the Shtcherbatskys went abroad.